Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm showing you guys my palette collection. This video and a few after and a few before, I'm wearing all the same stuff because I am serial filming, because in 2 days, on July 7th, I'm having my wisdom teeth removed. So it'll be about 2 weeks before I'm going to actually be able to talk like this again. So showing you my palette collection. There was a quick overview in my makeup collection overview video. So I'm just going to go through all of my palettes and show you guys what they look like. So I'm going to show you my book palettes first. I have 3 of these e.l.f. Halloween book palettes. I have the Diva Beauty book, which looks like this. I was going to go through and depot all of these, but I actually watched somebody try to depot these, and when they took the styrofoam part off right here, the shadows actually started to shatter. So I don't want to risk that. Plus I like the packaging that these come in, so I figured why not keep them. Those are just 2 swatches of 2 of the colors in here. If you ever come across these like after Halloween on clearance, I would definitely recommend picking them up because they have some really nice colors in here. Like even this blue, or like bluish purple, is really pretty. So that is the Diva Beauty book. I also have the Vampire Beauty book, which has some like really nice deep orange and red tones, as you can see right there. Super pretty. And then I also have the Wicked Beauty book, which looks like this. Has another pretty like orange, it has a green, really nice black. It has a glittery black and a matte black in there. And that's what those look like. Really pretty. Next are all of my Disney related palettes, and I have quite a few of them if you watched my little collection overview video. First, I have my Cinderella palette, which looks like this. This was $10. It's $9.99. Has a little fold out thing right here, a mirror that looks like a clock, and these are like really nice pastel colors. I haven't taken anything out of here just because it's not like this is an everyday use palette. I literally just purchased these for collection purposes, but there's the 2 blushes right there. It also comes with a nice little eyeshadow brush right here, and it's really pretty. It kind of reminds me of that Lorac Beauties That Brunch palette. So that's my Cinderella palette. I also have the 3 Dare to Dream palettes that they came out with. I have the Pocahontas one, which has the little lookbook mirror and eyeshadows right here. Let's swatch a couple of these. These are actually like the eyeshadows that come in these palettes are actually very good. They are chalky just because they're cheap little eyeshadow palettes, but pigmentation wise and blendability is actually really good on these. So there's those, and it comes with what looks like a blush but is kind of bronzer-ish, and then a slight bronzer color. And then we have, where'd they go? Mulan, which looks like this. She also has a little lookbook and a mirror, and hers are kind of like kind of inspired by the picture on the front. There's some greens, some purples, couple of reds. Red. This green is really pretty. I just put the red in there, but there's those right there. Swatch these for you. The green doesn't really show up all that much, but I mean, it's a light color. And then we have Ariel. I'm making a mess. I don't have enough baby wipes for this stuff. Okay, so here's Ariel and her little lookbook and her shadows. I really don't like the mirror in here. They should have made it like a seashell or something. Like, why did they make all of the other ones look fancy and this one's just a circle? But here is the Ariel one. It's like deep sea kind of colors. Has some really nice deep shades in here. These are a little bit less pigmented than the other palettes, but well, like I said, display purposes, not so much usability. Next we have the 3 villain beauty books, which are like this. We have Ursula, and here is her little look with her mirror and her shadows right here. She's like deep, dark, some really pretty like gold colors, super pretty. They're a little bit chalky, obviously, as I said before. You know, they're cheap shadows. Don't really expect that much of them. The blush, however, insane. I mean, look at that. That's crazy. So, very pretty. Next, we have Maleficent, which, obviously, y'all know who that is. That green stained my hand. So here's the Maleficent book, and it does say their names on the side. Here is her little lookbook, and then her mirror is like the shape of her face with her little horns up here. And hers, honestly, her palette I'm not a really big fan of, because a lot of these colors pretty much blend out to just the same. Like, there's 5 purples out of the 9, and they all look so similar. So like if I swatch them and blend them out, they're all really similar. So when you put them on your eyes and blend them out, they kind of just blend out into nothing. But the green in here, however, is really, really pretty. So this is a good one. And then next is the Evil Queen from Snow White. Does she have a name? I don't know if she has a name. Just Evil Queen. Is that her name? Her mirror looks like the magic mirror. There's her little lookbook, and here is hers. Hers is more of like a neutral, grungy kind of palette right here. Again, not the biggest fan of like the color selection that they put in here, just because, you know, once all of these colors blend out, how much different can they actually look from each other once they're blended out onto the eyes? But this Trickery, which I'm assuming is like a bronzer, is very creamy, very smooth. It's not the darkest color, so it doesn't really show up that much. But there is the Evil Queen palette. The next Disney palette I have is actually a recent purchase. It is the Pirates of the Caribbean palette. I did want the Beauty and the Beast palette, however, by the time I was ready to purchase it, I saw that Hot Topic was releasing one, and I'm honestly more interested in the Hot Topic one than I am of the Lorac one. So here is the Pirates of the Caribbean palette. Honestly, everybody's seen this. I do have a review of this. If I remember, I will link it down below. And then in the side, I also have the little cheek and face palette that it well, it doesn't come with it, but came with the collection. So there is that. I will link the video down below if I remember, so you can see all of the swatches that go into this. Now on to, I was going to say like the less novelty-ish palettes. I still have a few of those in here, but on to actual palettes. This is all falling over. I have my Supernatural Join the Hunt eyeshadow palette from Hot Topic. I also have a review on this. If I remember, I will link this down below too. Again, this is another one that I solely have just for collection purposes, so that one's good. The most recent purchase is my Becca and Chrissy Teigen palette. I have a review of this up on my channel. If I remember, I will link it below. I have my Lorac Pro palette, which is one of my favorites that I have in my collection, so I definitely recommend this one. I have my like own personal just MAC palette with some random shadows in here. Not all of these are MAC. I'm not going to go through this. My Too Faced Cat Eyes palette that I have right here. Not a personal favorite, but I do like this little classic color right here, which is a weird color to like in a palette, but it's really nice all over the lid color. The 3 colors right here that are supposed to be liners don't really blend out all that well, so it's okay. Another favorite of mine, my ShanXO BH Cosmetics palette that is 9 shadows and 9 lipstick colors. I also have a review of this on my channel. I will link it below if I remember. My all-time favorite shadow palette, the Kat Von D Shade and Light palette. This is amazing. Anybody that is wanting to get high-end neutral shadow palette, definitely recommended this. It's an amazing palette. Definitely a staple. Another favorite, I actually don't even know if this is available anymore, but this is an e.l.f. eyeshadow palette. It has 32 neutral shades in here. This was one of my very, very first palettes. The pigmentation in this is really, really well done. So if you can still find this palette, I think it's probably like 10 bucks, or it was 10 bucks. I don't know if it's still available out there, but if you ever see this palette, definitely recommend it. Next I have a blush palette. It isn't, or it's a quad, but it's by Ellen Tracy. It's just this little thing right here. It kind of reminds me of the e.l.f. little quads that they have, but that's that. These are really pretty. They're hard to find though, so I don't really put them in very many videos. I have my Urban Decay Oz Great and Powerful palette right here. This is one of my favorite like novelty palettes that I own. The packaging is just gorgeous. Shades in here are pretty. You can take them out if you want to. It's just really, really pretty. Also a newer purchase, the Urban Decay Shadow Box, which actually has Tornado from my Oz Great and Powerful palette in here. And it also has Sin, which, by the way, Sin in here and the single Sin are not the same. There is a slight color difference, and the same with Tornado, so the shades are a little bit off on this, but it's still a cool palette. It was on sale, so I bought it. I have the CoverGirl Nudes, CoverGirl Goldens, and the Roses palette. These are really awesome. I don't have the regular naked palettes that they claim these are like, but I mean, I like these just fine, so I don't feel the need to go out and buy the naked palettes. I have 4 of the Milani Everyday Eyes eyeshadow collections. I have Smoky Essentials. I also have Must Have Neutrals, Bare Necessities, and Earthy Elements, which honestly my favorite orange shade ever is this one right here, which is really the only reason that I keep this palette. I can find all of the other shades in every other palette that I have, but that orange shade is very special. I have this Wet n Wild Studio eyeshadow palette in Coming in Latte. This is a really, really pretty palette. My only complaint about this is there's not enough matte shades in here, so really like that. I have the Revlon's Not Just Nudes palettes. I have Romantic Nudes and Passionate Nudes. I like these better than the Maybelline, the Nudes palettes. I don't know what they're called. I actually used to have a bunch of those, but I got rid of them because I like these better. I have the L'Oreal The Palette Nudes 1 and 2. I like these better than the Maybelline nude palettes also. 2 that I'm not, well, 1 that I'm not a big fan of is the BH Cosmetics Foundation and Concealer 10 color palette right here. It's okay. The colors are really greasy. As you can see, like, the coverage is not really there. It's kind of spotty. So I really only use this for like spot covering if I ever use it. One of my favorites is the BH Cosmetics Contour and Blush 6 color palette, which looks like this. This shade right here is really good for under the eyes. This is a really good like translucent all over shade. Good face powder, really pretty blushes. This is a little bit dark, so I use this with a very, very light hand if I want to use it for contouring. I also have the Jeffree Star Beauty Killer palette, which I purchased just recently. Looks like this. And this, I also have a review of this up on my channel. I will link it below if I remember. And last but not least, one of my all-time favorites, the Anastasia Modern Renaissance palette. I think everybody loves this palette. It actually is worth the money, and I think it's one of the only like warm tone palettes that you will ever need. So that is my full palette collection. Like I said, I also have a review on this. Anything that I have reviews on, I will link it below if I can remember, and I say that because by the time this video goes up, it's probably like 3 weeks after I filmed it. But yeah, so look in the description box for anything that you want to know. If you did enjoy this video, give it a thumbs up. Thank you guys so much for watching. Subscribe for more, and I'll talk to you guys next time. Bye.